If you're a real estate agent, this video is for you, regardless of where you are in the United States. I think I have a message that may be able to help you regardless of your production level. If you're doing 50 million or if you only made $50,000 this year, I think this message will 1000% help you. I have conversations with realtors every single day in different markets. And the question that I always start the conversation off with is, hey, how is the market treating you? And you would be surprised at how many agents in New York, in Connecticut, in California, in Florida, in Pennsylvania, people all over the United States say, Luke, this market is freaking hard, especially coming out of 2025, where the National Association of Realtors said that at least 80% of realtors did not close a deal in the year of 2025. That is bad, but that is not the end or final report for your business. So that's why I want to have this conversation with you today. Every time that I talk to someone and they tell me that, Luke, the market is treating me bad, I am reminded of this story that comes directly out of the Bible. Jesus told this parable, and we call it the parable of the talents, where there was a master, right? He was a rich man. He was getting ready to leave, and he wanted to leave some of his assets with his servants, right? This is a message completely about stewardship. One of his servants, he left him with 5 talents. One of his servants, he left them with 2 talents. One of the servants, he gave him 1 talent. And it says that he gave these talents to them based on their several abilities. So based on their ability to manage the talents, that's how many they got. So he went off on his trip. They went about their daily tasks. And when the master came back, he came over to them. He went to the one that had 5 talents. The one that had 5 talents had double the 5 talents that he had. So he had 5 talents more. The master told him, well done, good and faithful servant. Basically, in a nutshell, you did a great job. We can be business partners because you know how to manage money. The second one that had 2 talents, he doubled the 2 talents that he had. Same thing. The master told him, well done, good and faithful servant. We can be business partners because you know how to manage what I put in your hand. The third one, this is where you really need to listen up. The third one had excuses. He said that, listen, master, before you even asked me, you gave me the 1 talent. I know that you are a hard taskmaster. You reap what you don't sow. You know, you are a really hard businessman. So you know what I did? Out of fear, I took the talent that you gave me and I buried it. So when you came back, I would still have that 1 talent. The master called this servant that buried the talent. He called him wicked and slothful. He said the least that you could have done is went out and gambled with the 1 talent that I gave you. At least if you had lost the talent, at least I would have saw that you were trying to put what I gave to you to use, right? And even if you lost that talent, you would at least have gained a lesson throughout, this entire process. And as you sit back, you would think, like, hey, this is unfair. You gave one guy 5 talents. So even if he would have gambled and lost, let's say 2 of them, he would have still had, 2 left, and you gave 1 2 talents. And even if he would have gambled with, 1 of them or traded off 1 of them and had 1 left, it's still he would have something. But why are you so hard on the guy with 1 talent? And that is where we face ourselves with, regardless of your production level in real estate right now. What are you doing with what's in your hand? I have this message for every single realtor that is on our team. I'm a part of the Hunt Global Collective. We have, I think I said before, we have 50 something agents on our team throughout the United States. And I always ask them, what are you doing with what's in your hand? And we're always looking for the next best thing, the big thing, what lead can I pay for? No. The question that you need to ask yourself is, how are you managing the business that's in your hand? And even if you don't have business, what are you doing with the talent that you've been given? Not necessarily your ability, but what are you doing with what is in your hands? If you have a social media account, what are you doing with the 500 followers that you have, the 1,000 followers that you have? Are you following up with them? When you put out videos, are you putting up CTAs? If you don't know what a CTA is, a call to action. Do you have your link in bio set? Is your bio optimized to actually bring people in? What are you doing with AI right now? What are you doing with what's in your hand? Are you using AI as just a Google source? Are you just Googling things through AI? Or are you telling AI everything about your business? Guys, this is a cheat code. Pull out your Claude, and I don't mean to take this down the AI road, but pull out your Claude app or your ChatGPT. Claude works a little bit better than ChatGPT. And tell Claude everything about your business. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. I've been in the business for 5 years. Last year I produced, 5 million in sales. This year I want to do 10 million, but I'm behind the 8 ball because I've only did 1 million in sales. This is how I get my business. Most of my business comes from referral sources. I am on social media. I'm doing YouTube videos, but I only have 300 followers. Most of my videos get 200 views and maybe 1 or 2 likes. Tell Claude everything. And then you tell Claude, I need you to act as a social media manager or a real estate business manager with over 20 years of sales experience or social media experience, whatever you need Claude to actually feel in your business. I need you to act as if you have 20 years of experience in social media, and I need you to interview me. Ask me every single question that you can about myself and about my business so that you can poke holes in my business and give me a game plan on how to get on track to hit that $10 million in sales this year. If you start using ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude this way, you're going to get completely different results. Listen, guys, I am on YouTube. Primarily, my business comes from social media. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then referrals. So on YouTube, I started out being very consistent on YouTube this year. And after a month of being on YouTube, I went and did the same thing with Claude. I told Claude exactly who I was, everything about my business. I downloaded all my transcripts from my YouTube video, put it into Claude. And I said, hey, am I attracting my ideal client? Obviously, I told it who my ideal client was. My ideal client is a family. They're buying their first or second home, relocating to the Dallas area. They have a substantial amount of income. Their credit is in line. And I said, listen, based on my audience, and the content that I'm putting out on YouTube, will this attract my ideal client? And I told it to be brutally honest, poke holes in my marketing plan. And Claude gave me a rude awakening. It said, Luke, you are never going to attract your ideal client with the type of content that you're putting out now. You want to know why that is? That's because my audience was aspirational buyers. I was literally building a fan base of people who just wanted to see me in front of cameras and in front of the camera, and they loved my videos. So I had the conversation back and forth with Claude on dictation mode. Like, okay, well, how can I change my audience? Claude actually gave me a game plan on how to change around my content, because the content that I was doing was strictly home tours. Claude gave me the idea to do informational content for people that are looking to move to my area. I don't know about you guys, where you're located at, what type of buyers are in your market or what type of market that you have. But here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you cannot drive 5 minutes down the road without running into a brand new community. So Claude said that, hey, you need to create content telling people what it's like to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I said, okay, well, you know who my ideal client is. You know exactly what area I live in. I need you to give me topics that will attract the people that are looking to move to this area, because that is my ideal client, is the relocation client. So Claude gave me a list of 10 topics. I took those topics and I threw out the ones that I thought were stupid, and I kept the ones that I thought, if I was relocating to Dallas, which I did relocate to Dallas, what would I be looking for? That light bulb went off in my head. I started thinking about when I was moving here. I wanted to know about the neighborhoods, the school districts. I wanted to know where the nearest shopping was. What was the dining? What did the nightlife look like? What were the neighbors like? What were the people like in the area? Where is the nearest grocery store? Where is the shopping mall? These type of things are things that I put in my videos, and just like that, and I wouldn't say it was overnight, but in my mind, just like that, I started getting less views on my videos, but more intentional views on my videos. I start getting people reaching out to me. And as of now, we are in June going into July of 2026. My YouTube channel has, my client facing YouTube channel has nearly, 950 subscribers. And I've only been doing YouTube since, what have I been doing YouTube since January of this year? I took it seriously January of this year. As of now, I think I've put out 40 long form videos. And as of today, I have 6 either active or closed deals that came directly from YouTube. And here's the thing, guys. It's not just like, and I'm going to tell you, I'll be transparent with you. I closed one deal from YouTube for $715,000. I got a 5% commission off of that. Right. So I'm doing new construction, right? So on new construction, I'm negotiating with the builders, right? So this goes all the way back. So I'm not a loopy person. I'm not just taking you all over the map. I'm telling you, I'm using what's in my hand. I'm using my social media. I'm using my brain. I'm using my experience, and I'm using my ability to negotiate, because I've been in this business for nearly 15 years and I understand how to negotiate. I fight for what it is that I want. So I negotiate. I use what's in my hand to negotiate with the builder. So the builder says that they're offering 3% commission. I say, no, I can't take 3% commission because the builder down the street is willing to give me 6%. Are you willing to do 6%? And this is just, I mean, like, real estate is the best game of poker in the world, right? So this is just me blowing smoke to see what they're going to say. And they understand that there's so much new construction on the market in our area, and that's all buyers want anyway. So they are willing to negotiate. They said, we can't do 6, but we can do 4. And I said, listen, I can't take it for 4. I'm taking too much of a cut. That's like a $14,000 cut if I take 4%. But I tell you what I will do. We can meet in the middle at 5%. And you know what? I got that at 5%. Another deal that I just closed, I got for 4%. It was a $357,000 deal. They were offering 3%. They could not do anything higher because there were no margins for that. And then I got reached out to by another client. And, after I put out a video finding out, and this is literally me just using what's in my hand. I saw, and I'm sorry to go back and forth, but I'm trying to get to a point for you guys that you have to use what's in your hand. So I saw a video, or a post on Instagram about some of the top 10 places that people are relocating to in the United States. And this was, sent to me, by one of my brothers, Daniel Hunt. And it shows that in the top 10 places to move to in the United States, top places, fastest growing cities in the United States, about 5 or 6 of them are right here in Dallas, Fort Worth. Boom, light flash goes off. This is where people are moving to. So I picked one of those locations. I did a video about Princeton, Texas has just been named one of the top 3 fastest growing cities in the entire United States, with a population surge of 30% in the past 12 months. It's one of the only places that has doubled in population since 2020. Guys, we're not talking about just Texas or just the DFW area or just Dallas itself. We're talking about one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. And you want to know why? It is all because the median sales price in Princeton, Texas is $325,000. The day that I did that video, I got a call the next day, right? At that time, I may have had, and this was 2 weeks ago from today. It was 12 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I may have had 14 views on this video. I got a call from a young lady, say, hey, I'm a first time home buyer. I'm looking to buy. I need to get pre-approved. Sent her over to my lender. My lender got her pre-approved. The next day, we were out in the city of Princeton looking at brand new homes in the city of Princeton. I showed her one home. She came down the stairs. It literally sounds too good to be true until it happens to you, right? So she literally comes down the stairs, say, hey, I don't need to see anything else. I want to take this one. Boom. I'm with the sales rep. This is, now mind you, this is $500,000 home. I'm with the sales rep. The sales rep is like, yeah, we'll give them 3% towards their closing costs if they use our preferred lender. Now, I've already taken this person to my lender, so I'm loyal to my lender, right? And if you guys don't know, my wife is a mortgage broker, so that money stays in house. So I'm like, no, they're not going to use your lender. I need to get this 3% for my client because they need this money. Now, mind you, they did not need the money at all, but I wanted to fight for my client because I know that I'm going to fight for myself. Just as hard as I fight for me, I'm going to fight for my client. So I did proceed to tell them like, hey, cause the builders is saying that, hey, we'll give up 6%. So we'll give the realtor 3%. We'll give the buyer 3% towards their closing costs. So I got them to agree to give 3% and my client use an outside lender. Then I let my client drive off and I told the sales rep, I said, hey, you guys are paying 3% commission. There's a builder just around the corner from here, same exact neighborhood. They're willing to give me 6% commission if I bring my buyer over there because my buyer's ready to go now. She can close in 21 days. And he said, Luke, man, I just can't do, I can't do 6%. I said, you need to go and talk to your manager to see because you're getting ready to lose this sale. And he says, let me call them. He called his manager. He said, hey, my manager says we can't do it. We can do 4%. I'm like, bro, at 4%, I'm leaving too much money on the table. And guess what I said? You know what? We can settle. Let's just settle at 5%. Now, mind you, I got them to come down on the price from $500,000 to $490,000. My client is getting 3% seller concession towards her closing costs. So they're basically covering the bulk of her closing costs. And I negotiated a 5% commission for me. You guys do the math, right? I turned this, what would normally be like $15,000, $14,000 commission into like a $25,000 commission. I am using what's in my hand. And that's what I'm asking you, regardless of where you are in the market, regardless of how the market is treating you. You got to turn your mentality around. The market is not treating you anyway. You are a speaking spirit. I'm not talking religion here. I'm not talking religion. You are the only entity, the only thing on this earth that can actually speak and get results. Speak to a plant. Go, and I'm an avid plant grower. If you go out and speak positively to your house plants and you water them, you give them sunshine, I promise you that plant will grow big and beautiful. But if you do the same exact thing with the watering and giving it sunshine, but you give negative words to that plant, it's going to die off. You are the only thing with power in your words. And the Bible says that death and life are in the power of your tongue. So you can speak business, you can speak life into your business, or you can speak death into your business. And a lot of realtors in this market are speaking death over their business. Even when I ask them the question, how is the market treating you? And they say, man, this market is so tough. Now there's a fine line between faith and foolishness, right? So I don't want you to be so foolish that when somebody asks you that question, you say, man, everything is hunky dory. And, I'm closing millions of dollars in transactions. If you are not, but you can have a positive aspect on how you see the market. So stop letting things happen to you and go out and happen to the market. That's exactly what happened to the servant that had the 5 talents. He took his 5 talents and he doubled it. Regardless of the circumstance, he said, you know what? I know I got a hard taskmaster. I got to go out here and do something with what's been put in my hand. And that's what I want to encourage you guys with. Go out and do something with what's in your hand. Listen, I tell my team all the time, what you focus on will expand. If you focus on the lack, if you focus on how hard the market is, if you focus on the fact that you don't have buyers, if you focus on the fact that you don't have listings, on the fact that you don't have clients, you're going to have more of what you focus on. What you focus on will expand. But if you focus on just that little glimmer, you put out a video and you got a client, or you did an open house and people came through and you got 4 people on your list to follow up with. If you focus on that, I got momentum. I'm focusing on the positive in my business. I had somebody call me from Instagram. That's my momentum. I'm focusing on that. I'm doing everything in my power to convert this person. Hey, let me connect you with my mortgage broker. Let me get you set up with the drip campaign on the MLS so you can see exactly what's on the market right now. Hey, you need credit repair. Let me connect you with my credit repair agency. I use my credit guy. So let me connect you with them. Do everything in your power to show the master that you're trying to double what's in your hand. And this is one thing that you never want to live with. You never want to live with the regret of what if I have taken my business seriously and I was a good steward over what's in my hand. You don't want that regret. You actually want to be on the other side of your business saying, I did everything in my power to double what was given to me. What was given to me. I focused on what was given to me. And even if you don't double it, let's say if if it doesn't double, but you got 2 talents right now, you don't double it to 4, but you make it into 3. You can take that 3, present it back to the master and say, hey, I stewarded what you gave me. Give me the ability. And that's what he did from the beginning. He said he gives us a measure of faith based on our ability. Every man has the measure of faith. So we get our measure of faith based on our ability. He gave them the talents based on their ability. So I would definitely want to encourage you, if you are a real estate agent, go out into the market today. Change this market around. We are mid 2026. You have enough time in 2026 to make multiple 6 figures in your business, and don't look at what you have done in the past. Don't look at, what the market statistics are saying. Don't look at the fact that the buyers don't want to work with you. I guarantee you there's somebody in your market that is doing 100 transactions and they're halfway to 100 transactions right now. Why not you? Why wouldn't you be that person? But I guarantee the person that is doing 100 transactions, they're focusing on doing 100 transactions. So every buyer opportunity that they get, every listing opportunity that they get, they are grateful for it. One thing that I can tell you, one of my brothers, he tells our team when we have our team meetings, he's like, man, one of the most important things that you could do for your goals and for your future is to journal, right? You want to write down every single day what you are grateful for. At the beginning of the day, this is what I expect out of my day. At the end of the day, write down what happened in your day and what you are grateful for. Because the reason you write down what you're grateful for is because you start to notice even those little small things. You guys seen the guy, the NFL player that has ALS right now. And that I was at my barber the other day, and that was something that really stood out to me. And it gave me pause for a second, but right there in the barber chair, and I told him, I said, man, I really thank God. I'm really grateful to my father, God, that he gave me the movement of my limbs, because that's kind of stuff that we, as people take for granted, being able to get out of your bed and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Being able to stand in front of the mirror and brush your teeth, or, when your kids are running in the hallway, I poke with my youngest daughter all the time. She's running the hallway. I stand in front of her. I might act like I'm going to push her or something, and she'll act like she's going to trip me. But being able to play around with your children, we take for advantage. But writing down in that journal shows your gratitude and what you're grateful for. Believe me, you start to focus on more of that. You start to look for more of what you're grateful for. So full circle, I want to ask you, what's in your hands? Where are those leads that you got that you let fall through the crack? Where are, those opportunities that came in your hand that you did not take advantage of? If you don't have business right now and you don't have a team, go to your broker and ask, hey, who can I ask to host an open house for them? Who in our brokerage, or you don't even have to go in your brokerage. If you go and look at and I'll put my Instagram handle in the description. I'll put my client facing YouTube channel in the description as well. But if you look at my account, most of the properties that I'm shooting videos for, they're not my listings. I go to builders. I go to other agents. I get out there because I'm in the active business of marketing. If I don't have a buyer, I'm going to go to a house. I'm going to market the house and see if I can bring the listing agent a buyer. I'll go to the builder to see if I can bring the builder a buyer. And what I'm actually doing is taking advantage of every opportunity. Like I said, if you don't have open house opportunities, even if you don't have listings at your brokerage, you can actually go and get on the MLS and fat finger call every agent that has a listing in your market that you work in and say, hey man, my name is Luke. I'm with eXp Realty. I don't have any listings right now. And I noticed you have this beautiful listing right here in this neighborhood called Sunset Grove. And I wanted to know if you needed somebody to host an open house for you, man. I'll treat that open house just as if it was my listing. My goal is to help you get this place sold and make you look good in the eyes of the seller. Even if they tell you no, go find you another agent. I promise you somebody will give you an opportunity. And that's something that you have to learn. You have to learn how to be relentless. Listen, there's so many clues and listen, I'm riding past a plant shop right now. I'm itching to go in there because I'm really into house plants, but that's something that people have to understand. There are so many lessons that are trapped within the scriptures. Even if you're not a Christian, go and pick up the Bible just for story's sake, right? Because the Bible tells us something about being relentless and not being fearful. There are so many times in the Bible where it says, hey, get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And it tells us that we have to be relentless. And I'll leave you with this. There was a story where the prophet told one of his disciples, hey, that it's about, I hear this, it's about to rain. There's going to be rain on earth. I need you to go out and look for the rain. The servant went out and looked for the rain. The disciple went out and looked for the rain. He saw no rain. He came back. He's like, man, ain't no rain out there. He said, go look again. And that's what you have to know. What he was teaching them was to be relentless, but don't give up just because you don't get instant results, right? He was like, go look again. I think it was 7 times that he came back. It was like, I don't see, any rain. Then he went out that last time, told him to go look again. He said, hey, I see, a cloud the size of a man's fist. And then he said, go see again today. Now I hear the sound of abundance of rain. Literally, it was always rain there. He just had to go and look again. What he focused on started to expand because every time he went out there, now it changed his expectation. Now he started looking for rain. The first couple of times, I know he probably thought the prophet, man, this prophet is stupid, man. He got me out here looking for rain. It's sunny outside. We in Texas. Ain't no rain about to happen right now. It's 95 degrees outside. No cloud in sight. Bluebird skies outside. But every time that he went out there, I would probably say after 2 or 3 times, he started expecting to see the rain. So start being relentless. Don't take no for an answer. If I could give you any word of encouragement, any resource that I can give you, go and read one of my favorite books is called Go for No. And it literally, the premise of the book is for you to go out and look for people to tell you no. It's building up this relentless characteristic on the inside of you that every single realtor needs in their business. Guys, I hope this was extremely helpful for you. I was driving around. I'm actually supposed to be going to get me some lunch right now, but this was on my mind. I saw one of my brothers posted a video. I said, you know what? I'm fired up about the same thing. I'm going to put my message out there for the world. I hope this helped you guys. Listen, if you are a real estate agent and you're struggling right now and you don't have that support, because one of the things that I noticed for a lot of real estate agents, and I've been a real estate agent for the past 15 years, almost 15 years now, is that you could be on an island by yourself in an office with hundreds of agents. It can feel like you are all alone. And that's one thing that's missing in the real estate industry is community. So that was the reason that myself, my brother, Tommy Wooten, and Daniel Hunt came together. We're all 3 right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We came together and said, hey, if we work together and we build a community for agents, it's one of those things, if you build it, they will come. And we start to see God bring us agents that actually felt the same way. They felt alone in this industry. They didn't have any community. They're coming from Keller Williams and Century 21 and Remax and Real Broker. And they're coming from LPT because they joined teams and they still felt like they were on an island by themselves. If that's you, regardless of your level of production, if you're not producing right now, or if you're doing 50 or $100 million in deals and you feel alone, we have a community for you. Our community meets every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have agents in California, in Florida, in Texas, in Georgia, and in New Jersey. I think Connecticut. We just brought on an agent from Connecticut as well. So regardless of where you are, we would love to partner with you. Obviously, we are with eXp Realty. And if you want to learn more about what it would look like to work with us here, we would love to have the opportunity to hop on a really quick Zoom call for you, Zoom call with you, and actually answer any question that you have. One thing that I will tell you, in the business of real estate, you have never, and I promise you, I know you haven't, you have never been to a real estate agent retirement party. And that is because the traditional brokerage does not have a retirement plan. If you want to find out how you can make residual income in real estate, and we can show you receipts, thousands of dollars that I make every single month residually without me having to do anything from the efforts of other people that I share this opportunity with, I would definitely love to tell you about that. If you want to know more information, feel free to give me a call. My cell phone number is at the bottom of the screen. I would love to have the opportunity, like I said, to hop on a Zoom call with you. Until the next video, may God bless you. Have a wonderful day.